Well, good evening and welcome to the Oak Point Nature Preserve in Plano, Texas. Tonight's exercise is part 2 of the field evaluation of the NITECORE MH12 Pro Flashlight. At the end of part 1, I speculated about taking this light out here to Oak Point. We have numerous places for long-range observation, not the least of which is 600 yards line of sight across the lake there in the background. The goal tonight is to run this primarily in high and turbo, so I placed it in TAC mode. Very easy, works exactly the way it is described in the manual. Tactical is a turbo first mode. So you start out in turbo and then successive clicks of the side switch take you in a cycle from high, medium, low, then back around to turbo. You turn it off, turn it back on with the tail cap switch, you're in turbo again. Now, I'll probably spend most of my time in high. I want to see how well this augments a typical hiking headlamp. I will have my SAR headlamp running only in 100 or 400 lumen flood tonight, and we will use the MH12 Pro for downrange observation. I want to show you a couple of things about grip, particularly the grips I will be using tonight. I'm putting this in a separate chapter in case you just want to completely skip over it. Normally you would use this light in an underhand grip. Tonight I'm going to start in turbo, and I may want to very quickly go down to high. After all, we already know from part 1 of the evaluation that turbo steps down very aggressively. If it's too much illumination, I just as soon get into high as quickly as possible. So I've rotated the clip around to what we might say is the 9 o'clock position. That makes it very easy to just grab the light, put it in my fingers like this, and then I can use this position to activate the tail cap and then very quickly rotate up to cycle through the modes. A lot of times I'm so used to a classic overhand grip that doesn't really work with this light. So what I'll do is I'll hold my thumb along this clip and use the index finger for the tail cap switch, and my forefinger naturally falls on the side switch. So this is kind of a modified overhand grip. So if that's something that you're thinking about in terms of making a purchase, I just thought I would throw this in case you might find it helpful. High output, not quite 50 yards back to the restroom area, increasing to over 50 yards, looking back into the picnic area where I filmed the introduction. Distances keep going out. Well over 75 now, and as we push to the right of that tree line, well over 100. And I'm lighting some people up, so I'm going to switch over to the other side of the lake. Can't remember the distance to that sign, but I know it's well over 150. Still in high. Headlamp is off for these first couple of tests. This is turbo, looking back across the lake, a good 175-80 deep into that tree line. As you can see, lots of particulates and bugs out tonight, and they are crawling all over me. They really like this light. Let it run here and see what the step down is like with a nice cool breeze and lower temperature than the Part 1 evaluation. And I'm holding the light well towards the tail end. Okay, coming up on about a minute and a half sustained in turbo. And I will have my headlamp on for the remainder of the tests. Now my headlamp is in 400 lumen flood, but I'm not really getting any visibility inside or around those trees, so let's just do a quick sweep in turbo. And this is working in tandem with my headlamp. Now I've got the heel of my hand right on the head of the lamp, and it's definitely getting very hot. And there you saw a bit of step down. .400 lumen flood, looking over bridge down into a creek. Let's bring the NITECORE in on high. Photonic barriers on the right and left. There's a street about 50 to 75 yards to my left. So let's light up that structure downrange in turbo, about 125, 130 from my current position. Definitely see well to the back, even into the tree line behind the structure. And there goes the step down. We still just barely see the tree line over to the right here, and then let's go back to the structure. Still not bad, but not as good as when we started. High with photonic barriers, but much lighter, and no headlamp. Distance is just about 150 to that far tree line in high. And we still have light pollution from the surrounding city off to my left. Let's pan around just a bit. That one's a bit harder to get through because of the strength of the reflections, but I can get some detail from the trees behind it. All right, 400 lumen flood on the headlamp. Let's bring the NITECORE in on high and look across down into the creek here. Well, you've seen the light now in two different environments. Tonight, we just focused on high and turbo. with and without a headlamp. It certainly seems to make a very good companion to a headlamp for those interested in night hiking. Of course, you're going to have to make up your own mind with regard to your particular circumstances and use cases. As I've often said, I'm just a bozo who gets out here and runs the test. I don't make recommendations. You're the one who has to make the decision. And on that happy note, I will shut it down for tonight. And as always, until the next review, thank you very much for your time, and thank you for watching the video.